Live from the Swiss Embassy in New York City to the La Brea Star Pits in Hollywood, it's the Frank DeCaro Show, featuring Doria Biddle.
Yes, it's Frank DeCaro and Doria Biddle live in Los Angeles, back in New York City. Gonzo's bringing us together and out to you via the magic of satellite radio, SiriusXM OutQ. I want to welcome to our show the author of a new book called Melt, 100 Amazing Adventures in Grilled Cheese. Shane Sanford-Kearns is with us. Shane, welcome to our show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I live with the world's foremost fan of grilled cheese. I do. We grilled cheese we spend entirely too much time thinking about grilled cheese, but we're nothing compared to what you've done. How did grilled cheese take over your consciousness?
It's been a long time coming. My maternal grandmother always made me grilled cheese, and then my mother made me grilled cheese, and then I always ate grilled cheese, so it only made sense that I now have a grilled cheese blog and then a grilled cheese cookbook, and gone from there.
And why do you think people are as obsessed with it as you are? Because people talk about grilled cheese there are grilled cheese trucks, grilled cheese restaurants. It's just such a thing.
It's become huge over the past couple of years. 5 or 10 years ago, you would never thought there'd be restaurants devoted simply to the grilled cheese sandwich. It was always on the kids' menu or anything like that. But these days, it is kind of taken over. People are getting back to comfort food and enjoying what they know and what they like. It's a great palate to experiment and have fun with and just enjoy. And I don't think anybody can spend too much time with the grilled cheese sandwich.
No, because they really are. If you're having a day of it and you're like, oh God, if you have a grilled cheese sandwich, things are looking up.
Yeah, it's a positive thing. You just enjoy it. It takes you back to when you were a kid or something, and you can spice it up and just have a good day from there on out.
What makes for a really good grilled cheese sandwich?
You got to get a good bread with a nice toast on it, and then a good melty cheese that kind of oozes out of the bread, and then any ingredients that you may have, you can just throw on and enjoy. If you like a fruit or a vegetable or something that you just happen to have a lot at home, throw that on there, and you're good to go.
Yeah, because and when you do that, it can be really simple stuff, and you're like, why the hell does this taste this good? And it's kind of, if it comes together, it can be pretty amazing.
Exactly. You got to just have fun with it. Even as simple as a sourdough bread and a good cheddar and a slice of tomato could make a great sandwich, and you'll be like, ooh, this was a lot better than I was expecting, and should be good.
I was gonna say, I love when you throw things like say a fig jam and prosciutto and some cheese and on a nice piece of bread and grill that up, and it seems like you did something. You're like, I kind of made a sandwich and then pressed it, and there's nothing really to it. What about in terms of when you think of the ultimate just plain grilled cheese? Do you have to have like a bunch of different kinds of cheese, or it should just be one, or what ends up making the best for you? I
tend to think you really can't have too many cheeses, but once you get like 4 or 5 cheeses, you're kind of overdoing it. The flavors all meld together, and you're not really tasting the cheeses and stuff. So I say like 2, maybe 3 cheeses tops. But if you just want a good, simple grilled cheese, you can't go wrong with just your favorite cheese on some bread and then throw whatever ingredients on, and you'll be good. Go to your grocery store, see what they have, see if they have some small chunks of cheese that you may want to try, and take that home, shred it up, and put it on, and you'll make something that you weren't expecting, and you'll enjoy it.
Is shredding the answer to it, in terms of, rather than a big slice of slab of cheese?
Yeah, I think you'll get a more even cheese. You'll get the cheese oozing out on the sides like you always see in the good pictures and stuff like that. It takes a little bit longer to melt a slice of cheese, and then you're worrying about if your bread's going to get burnt or anything like that. So shredding helps make it consistent and cook in a good amount of time, so bread and cheese are done just about at the same time.
We're talking to Shane Sanford-Kearns, and his book is called Melt, 100 Amazing Adventures in Grilled Cheese, and he's from GrilledShane.com, so you can definitely check that out. On the cover of the book, you talk about melt unmeltable cheese. What generally is unmeltable cheese?
There's a couple. There's a halloumi cheese that's really, you can even grill out on the grill that doesn't really melt, and people have even used that cheese to be the bread and kind of put 2 stacks. They're like big stacks like a slice of bread that kind of only slightly melts, so it still keeps it warm, and then you could put ingredients inside of that and stack it up and have a really cheesy grilled cheese with no bread and just the cheese on the outside and then your ingredients on the inside. So, I mean, you can experiment with all sorts of different kind of cheeses.
That sounds. That's like what we all made fun when they made, that use the chicken as bread.
Yeah,
Kentucky Fried Chicken. I guess if you can use unmeltable cheese in place of bread on the outside, that's sort of the cheese equivalent.
It is
thereof.
It is, and I mean, you don't even need to necessarily use bread like cheese. You could use lettuce, or I did one with potato pancakes, or just use a portobello mushroom you scoop out and put the ingredients that you want, like avocado, some cheese, and some breadcrumbs on top, baked it in the oven, and you've got yourself a little snack that has no carbs whatsoever.
But let's go back to carbs. So you can use a potato pancake instead of bread.
You could, yeah, and that's a good one. Throw some apples, some blue cheese, and melt it up and bake it in the oven, and that's perfectly all right.
So like a latke melt is what you were talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
Yeah, that would be really... there are so many worse things than that.
They really
are. Oh, yeah. What's the most exotic grilled cheese sandwich in the book, Melt 100 Amazing Adventures of Grilled Cheese?
The dessert ones are really... there's like 50 sweet and there's 50 savory. So the sweet ones are pretty out there. I do one on a brownie as the bread, or I do one on a cookie cheesecake towards the end of the book, where the cookies are the bread, so to speak, and then you have like a cheesecake filling inside. That one is definitely rich, but I mean, if you have a party or something, you can split it up, have that as your dessert, and everyone will leave happy on that note. But you could eat it.
You could get over a breakup with that.
I think you could.
The love of your life could leave, and you'd be like, well, they're gone, but I do have cookies with cheesecake in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it's really rich and it's really good, but it's good. And if you're feeling bad, like a scoop of ice cream or whatever that gets you over, why not have a cookie cheesecake sandwich to help you out for a little bit?
It'll do. It's the heroine of desserts. It really is.
Exactly.
Shane, I got to ask you a question. I just got a diagnosis about 5 months ago, that I'm lactose intolerant. Is there any hope for me in the world of grilled cheese?
There is, and that's kind of the thing. Like 5 years ago or so, you might be a little bit unlucky at that point. But these days, they have dairy-free cheeses, and I think they're making better ones each and every day. They're trying to get the flavor down and the texture down. And I did one that was not on the blog that was dairy-free. That wasn't bad at all. But since I'm able to eat the cheese, I like normal cheese. But they're doing great things with dairy-free cheese that you'll be able to substitute with regular cheese. Just throw it in there and put your ingredients on, even gluten-free bread if you need to do that. That works as well. But, yeah, they're coming up with a lot of different things, and you'll see them at the grocery store and everything like that.
And also, I guess goat cheese you can do, too, because that's for people who are lactose intolerant. I think goat cheese works, and I guess you can make a goat cheese grilled cheese.
Yeah, goat cheese is a good cheese to use, regardless of if you're lactose or not.
Just put a dab behind each ear, whatever. It's perfect.
Exactly.
Goat cheese is fabulous.
It really is.
So how did the blog start, GrilledShane.com?
I kind of wanted, I went to school for digital design, and I was doing that. After I graduated college, I did my digital design job, and I was trying to think of ideas to use my creativity out of work and photography and stuff like that. So I'm like, why not try and mess around with the grilled cheese sandwich, see what I can do with it, throw the blog up there, make a sandwich just about every week on Sundays, take my photographs, and it kind of grew from there. And then once the blog got going, a publisher came around and said, why didn't we want to do a grilled cheese cookbook? Would you like to do it? And I said, sure, why not? And that's the history of it.
And tell me about, what is the Candied Baconator, and how do we get one faxed to us right now?
That's a good one. Most of the recipes in here are vegetarian. There are 5 that actually 5 of the meat ones are from guest recipes that people did, and they included that one in there. So that one's not exactly mine, but it's a good one that you can enjoy if you like the bacon and everything like that. Definitely can't go wrong with it.
What is it like, though? What's the sandwich of the Candied Baconator?
It's a good sandwich. It's got multiple flavors and everything like that. Candied bacon seems to be just a real popular type of thing these days. and everyone seems to be putting bacon in everything. So, I mean, you got your bacon and your ricotta cheese and multiple textures with the caramel and everything, and you're good to go.
Can you, if you go to a restaurant and there is grilled cheese on the menu, can you order something other than that, or do you say I need to have this?
It depends. I do a little bit of both. I'll order grilled cheese, see how they do it, if it's anything different or something like that. But sometimes I will pass and try something else. A lot of times these days they do have fancy grilled cheese sandwiches on menus and whatnot. So it's good to try and see what other people are doing. I know there's grilled cheese restaurants everywhere, so it's good to check those out every once in a while, and I'll see how they're switching it up a little different than maybe I would have thought of. So it's good to try and get inspiration from everybody.
We used to always go, when I was living in New York, we would always go to the Chat and Chew on 16th Street, and their grilled cheese was it's my favorite one I've ever had, and it's their grilled cheese, bacon, and tomato would got me through an awful lot.
Yeah, well,
I may have needed a defibrillator, but still, I was. But we loved them, so much. They were really incredible. But I guess pretty much every city that you go to now will have a grilled cheese place.
Yeah, I mean they're popping up everywhere. They're all over TV. There's a place on Shark Tank, the TV show, that just got some financing, and they're putting them everywhere and stuff like that. There's a restaurant where I'm from in Cleveland called Melt Bar and Grilled. They're moving in to Columbus. They have multiple locations in Cleveland. So, I mean, Food Truck in L.A. is one of the first ones out there, and they've done really well for themselves. So, I mean, if you don't want to make it at home, you can definitely find somewhere great out there to go out and enjoy a nice hearty grilled cheese that will have ingredients that you wouldn't have thought of to put on there, but you'll enjoy nonetheless.
Is it an international phenomenon, or is it pretty much an American thing, a grilled cheese sandwich?
I think I haven't noticed too much in the international realm. I know there's one not so international, but there's a grilled cheese place up in Toronto that's doing real well. Haven't seen it so much international as much as it seems like it's a comfort American type thing where we're going back to the basics and enjoying the comfort food and everything, and just going back to what we love and enjoy. So I think it's more of at this moment, it may expand, but at this moment I think it's more of an American type thing.
Are you doing things other than obviously doing radio shows like mine? Are you doing stuff in support of Melt 100 Amazing Adventures in Grilled Cheese?
Trying to do stuff on the radio, book signings in various places and stuff like that. Just trying to get the word out about the book. Anything I can do, I'll do, just to make sure that people know about it and can enjoy the grilled cheese sandwich as much as I do and have for a long time.
Is there? I mean, I always think when you order grilled cheese and it feels like it's been rushed out of the kitchen and the cheese isn't melty, that's pretty much death for me for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah,
because a cheese sandwich is not. I really do. As much as I love a grilled cheese sandwich, a cheese sandwich to me is like it's a cheese sandwich. It's just it's like a sandwich without its makeup. To me, it's not appealing. But but when it's melted, are there other things that people do wrong, or is there any tips in terms of making them at home that make it go from, well, it's all right to, boy, this is good?
Yeah, you got to make sure the cheese is melted. I mean, if you see it's rushed out of the kitchen, you'll see it's kind of still waxy, or whatever cheese they're using is still they're probably using sliced cheese, and you can tell that it isn't melted. But tips at home is I usually melt the butter first and then brush that on the bread, on both sides of the bread, and then use the shredded cheese so that it melts evenly. Normally about 3 minutes per side, depending how much cheese you have and how many ingredients. But as long as you shred the cheese and then brush the butter on the bread, you'll get a nice golden brown color, and the cheese will melt nice evenly and maybe ooze out, and you'll be good to go.
I always would use, and I don't know if this is cheating or even a good idea, but I would always put mayonnaise on the outside of the bread instead of butter. That's
an option? Yeah, that definitely works. People, I've read a lot about that. People using mayonnaise gives it a nice different flavor and stuff. So I mean, if you got some extra mayo at home that you want to use that in place of butter. Yeah, people do that a lot actually. So I mean, it's all personal preference. The book is mainly just kind of a canvas. If you see a recipe and there's one thing you don't like on it, but the other ingredients you like, make it that way. Or if you think you like maybe one ingredient over another that you have in your cabinet, throw that on there. Just enjoy making the sandwich and see where it takes you. Go to your grocery store and see what cheeses they have on sale or small chunks that you may want to try. You don't necessarily need to buy $20 a pound, $30 a pound cheese to enjoy a nice grilled cheese sandwich, a nice cheddar, $5, $10 a pound, and you're going to still enjoy your sandwich even if it's not that $20 pound cheese that you were eyeing.
We're talking to Shane Sanford Kearns. He's the author of Melt, 100 Amazing Adventures in Grilled Cheese. It's out now. I have one other question. Do you press down on the sandwich when you're making? I mean,
yeah.
How much pressing should you do?
You can do. You could do the brick method that people do, wrap it in aluminum foil and kind of put that on top. You can do that definitely, or you can just use a spatula, put all your ingredients, put the top piece of bread on, press it down, and then even when you flip it one time, you can press it down then again too. So I mean, you have options. You can even use another pan that if you want. Saute pan, you cook in that one and then have another pan on top to kind of press it down. You don't want to press too much because then you're going to squish your sandwich and it'll be flat, and you want a little bit of height to the sandwich so you can see the ingredients and everything. But as long as you press a little bit, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The brick thing works too. So I mean, it's all up to you what method works for you. I usually just use the spatula, press down on top of it, give it a second, flip it over, press down again. And then it should be good, and your cheese will kind of ooze out a little bit, and you'll be all set to enjoy your sandwich.
Yes. Oh, so tell me the truth now. Yes or no? Have you ever made a grilled cheese with a clothes iron, and the foil method, and in college, like so many of us did? Did you ever do that?
I have not done it yet. I kind of got to the grilled cheese after I graduated, so. With experimenting and stuff. So I haven't tried it, but I know people put it on the internet all the time, and it seems to work. So as long as you don't catch anything on fire or anything, you should.
Yeah, you wrap it in foil, you plug in the travel iron, and you're good to go. When it gets hot, you just sit there and grill it up, and it will work.
If that's what you have to use and you want to grill cheese, why not? It doesn't hurt. If it cooks and it tastes good, the method is all irrelevant at that point. You may not have a saute pan or whatever to use. So you should be good.
Well, some of us are old enough to have been in school before the microwave was everywhere. So we were. Believe me, you could make chili in a hot pot. You could make. Yeah, you could make grilled cheese with an iron. We did everything.
Yeah, so you can use anything you like to make it. The iron, the brick, whatever. Go for it.
A blow. I never tried a blow dryer, but now I'm going to go home and try it. Lord knows I don't have enough. I don't have any hair to use it on. So I might as well use it for that.
Well then,
Shane, thank you for coming to see us. Shane Sanford Kearns is the author of Melt, 100 Amazing Adventures in Grilled Cheese. I'll put the link to the Amazon page so you guys can see it and get it and check out this quote unquote funked up American classic. Shane, thanks for coming to see us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
When we return to the Frank Show, more fun, but it won't be as melty and yummy, but it'll be good here on SiriusXM OutQ.